Hello everyone, this is Jan and welcome to what I hope is the start of a brand new series here on my YouTube channel, a developer log, devlog of my travails in the Unreal Engine, learning a little bit of video game development as I did before. This is my ill-fated 2D side-scrolling ninja game on the Mac, made in Sawblade Software's Power Game Factory all the way back in, I think it's 2010. It's a long time ago. Since then, I've done lots of other creative pursuits and of course my always ubiquitous day job to keep things going. I'm currently living in the Philippines, and after a year of learning how to program, the workload got a little too heavy, so I had to switch things up in order to prevent burnout. And I found something that allowed me to continue to program and learn new software, but also go back into something a little bit more visual, something a little bit more fun to look at besides Xcode. So here we have it, a new attempt to breathe some life into some creative organs that have been sorely lacking in exercise lately. As you can see, I've also been upping my game in iMovie, learning about green screen and figuring out how to screen record my iPhone and moving that over, turning that into a green screen that I can splice in just for a little visual flair. What you're looking at right now is me coming up with a little game plan for a pretty basic game that will allow me to, learn some basic mechanics of the game engine, learn how to program visually, since this is a node-based system rather than just straight up coding, coming up with different iterations ahead of time and just breaking it down into smaller parts. Look at this guy. Alright, as you can see, I'm just having a bit of fun with all these V and like things I can do or can't do. And yeah, let's fill up this wall, shall we? So the idea to move a block, is it an event or a condition? So basically, you stand next to it, therefore it moves. Or is it physics-based? The player character is heavier than the block, therefore it can move the block. And then when the block is over here, that's where an event is triggered. And the block has been moved is true. And then the question is, can this be reversed? Can it be pushed back? Do I need to save the game somehow, or is that built in? These are all things I don't know. So if we move to the next problem I set up for myself, I have to have a condition, like, does the player have the key, yes or no? If the player has the key, and you enter like an event, you enter like a hot zone or whatever you call it, if you have the key, then you can unlock the door. So my next question then will be, does the player have to use the key or is it automatic? Now, if I can figure this out, I'm assuming the notion of branching paths becomes easier, because it's simply a question of like start 1, 2, 3. Did you go here? Did you go to the second dungeon or the third dungeon? Did you then go to the second dungeon and then to the third? Did you then go to the first and then to the third? Did you go to the second and then to the first. For example, there's more paths. Like here you could go to the third and then to the second. Here you can go to the first and then to the second. And of course, now I don't have enough space. But these are all conditions, true or false. And then the thing I realize I already messed up on my wall is, of course, I tried to set up different versions to aim for, version 1, version 2, version 3. But this version 2, bigger inventory than having a key to unlock. Like maybe you want to have a sword. Now I'm thinking, well, this is version 2. Because what am I going to use that for? Like if you have a weapon, then it implies enemies that you can fight. And that's a whole nother story. Hello everyone, here we are in, what's this called? Banana peels? I can't remember. This is a little experiment I have going with some blocks. Very exciting stuff, as you can see. I also have the PlayStation controller hooked up. Let's see if that one works just as well. So let's go. I have to click on the screen in order for the controller to pick it up. So I've been messing, he's like speed walking now like an old man. Been messing with the settings of the character a little bit, been messing with the camera settings a little bit, the jump, and as you can see, I've duplicated the solid blue for these chamfered cubes. I don't know like what is a chamfer, but basically they're those yoga blocks people use in Unreal Engine. And check this out. You see that? I have a block I can push, but this block is locked, so I can't push it this way. Up. This one I can push this way, but not that way. So the green is the y-axis, the red is the x-axis, blue is toy, and yellow is both axes. And this is the very basis of my little puzzle game. Now, of course, there's the art of deduction. It's funny how when you try and do something simple, before you know it, you've actually come up with some pretty complicated stuff that you didn't intend. Like, I can't jump here, so therefore I need another cube. But this one won't go to the right, so I'll use that one. So this is of course taking way too long, but it's a big heavy block. I've already scoped out some tutorials on how to get the animations lined up so he's actually pushing. I can still push even though it's two of them. Okay, well that's good to know. So what I mean by turning something simple and complicated, like can't jump on this one, therefore I need another one. Now I'm here, I set this one to very light. Look at that. This is all physics based. It's pretty neat, right? But then I decided to make some drawings. Let me show you. So here we have the camera input, which I've pretty much disabled. And I think I am guilty of that sin of going too fast. In case you can't find this, you go to your content folder. The third person blueprint is right there. And then in the top, there's the tabs and you can switch to event graph. So I guess that means delete. Where's that? Project settings. That is somewhere over here. Compile. Oh, here. Oh, I already forgot what I'm looking for. But while I'm here, I should get rid of the jump button. Okay, so it's not here. Action mappings. Jump. Bye. So check this out. No more jump button, but more importantly, getting rid of that camera node blueprint thing for the mouse and the gamepad solved this weird problem where forward and then any direction was not actually up or down or left or right, but a vector. And that vector and the camera were connected somehow. And now it is exactly how I want it to be. Okay. Awesome. So today's goal is one of the little maps I drew yesterday. And we're going to see if we can put that up on the big screen. So what we have here is, let's hit play. We have a top-down camera. We have D-pad controls. And we have southpaw controls. As we remember, this one can move up and down on the screen, left and right, any direction. I wanted something that, as you can see here, it doesn't fit quite neatly on the grid. And the grid is of course awesome for lining out your levels. So I started playing with the sizes. Now, I don't have a run button anymore, or running, and I don't have jump. So to force you to play within those constraints. So this one can go any direction. I've noticed that when you hit them from an angle, stuff starts to happen. Did you see that? This. I don't know why that is. So we got this larger container. Look at me, patron saints of pushing blocks. Alright, so this happens here as well. See that? There's something about the size that causes the camera to freak out, and I don't know why that is, but we will figure it out. So some other thoughts I had. Well, I'm fine with how this looks right now. I just find that Unreal has such a tendency to hit you over the head with like hyper-realism, and that it kind of puts you in a certain frame of mind, or it excites your imagination in a certain way. That doesn't happen like when I was in Swift and in Xcode trying to make something on the iPad, because you have to start from scratch, and so you tend to start off with like really basic graphics. And so now I feel like I'm back in those really basic graphics, but I still have this realistic human, and it still has my imagination jumping to like a background story, like an Amazon warehouse or building the pyramids, that is kind of realistic. And the designs I made for the game are very cutesy, you know, 8-bit from the original inspiration, which is of course 8-bit Zelda and Link to the Past, 16-bit Zelda. But it's also interesting how, like, when it's realistic, what you see on the screen, it changes your values or judgment on how it should behave and what you should be able to do than when it's cutesy. And so by constraining the character, no more running, no more jumping, this is it, just 8-way control, and just with the blocks as basic as it gets, kind of brings it back to what is more appropriate my skill level, a very simple game. So now the next step in this very simple game is of course to lay out the level according to the sketch, and that would require a start and a finish. The start we have, but a restart we don't, and a finish that registers that you've hit the goal we don't yet have either. So let's see what we can do today. This is a little legend I came up with today. I still have all my stuff on the wall. I simply went over it again and of course came up with some new things. I was going to draw a map here, but then I started drawing some basic symbols, and then this became the new tutorial map where a player can go up here, move these boxes around, can't get over there, but because obviously this has to be pushed out of the way, move up here, push this out of the way, get to the finish. But there's a bonus apple if you figure this out. I actually found drawing this stuff difficult, and I actually thought to myself, maybe I should get some actual toy boxes so I can put it out on the table so it's a little bit more obvious immediately instead of drawing it. But I did come to this one right here. So coming up with layered puzzles is hard, so I tried to cheat a little bit and I added a little enemy. I can move both ways. This is supposed to be an easy level anyway, so that's okay. As you can see here, spikes, a saw blade that moves from left to right, an enemy that moves from left to right. I suppose this is a trigger. Then a chess piece that moves in a, you know, like the horse does. I figured that could be cool. This one you can run away from. This one, if you run, you draw its attention, the cat. Then I've got you know, X, Y, Z movement boxes, solid, unmovable, the key, the lock, something for points, finish, start, and that is how I came up with this one. And then again, that scope creep, rotation crept in there instead of just moving boxes around. Now, when I look at this, and when I look at that, let's move this. When I look at this, so having that third person perspective versus this top down, this is very easy to grasp, and I think I'm gonna have to go for this one. So I'm gonna have to let go of the third person, but I don't know how to disconnect yet. So here I am in the top-down view, building the level according to this sketch right here. So of course I have to have little spaces here so it doesn't get stuck, but that means I'm off grid over here. Okay, F for focus, and then especially when this one is all the way on one edge and it's out of view, you get the move it around gadget in view. Okay, so hold down Alt or Option. Where's my actual design? Like this. I'm actually kind of surprised how small this level is that I designed with the size of the character, that is. Okay. Okay. Whoopsie. I've turned on grid and spaces here. Okay, an angle, so it snaps. I need to move this. See how it. Let's see if I can increase that. Oh, okay. What happens? I think something just froze. So it's just a bit faster and snappier. Okay, so I want, where do I want this? Okay, so now we move into our level proper. We start here. So you can push, and then this one should not go any further. So I don't know yet how I'm going to set that up. So the idea is you go through here. So far everything works, not very smooth. So now, is it clear I can move through here? Yes. Oh, there's a floating box thing. Okay, go through here. This is where the apple is, and then you push this out of the way. You can get out. And then you go through the exit. Confetti. Okay, so that works. So the viewing angles, or the field of view you're watching right now is actually just clipped because of the engine and the screen recording. So this is what it actually looks like. As you can see, you have a much bigger screen. So move through, exit. So I can go straight here. No bonus points for me. Straight to the exit. Confetti. I win. On to level 2. You guys, thanks so much for watching. So in the next session, the next devlog, I'm going to try and see if I can copy this level, rename it, move all the blocks around, wait for you to like, hit subscribe, ding that bell, so you don't miss out on an attempt to connect one level to the next. See you there.